Hi, I'm Tony.
I'm Lee.
This is our garden. You can talk. You're good at talking.
Oh gosh, it's been a long day. What did we do today? I weeded all the beans. Tony tilled through the rows that he could get to. He fertilized some corn rows. And then he tilled up in there. So here's just touring on Saturday, July 3rd. Gracie picked some green beans today, so those will be ready soon.
Cantaloupe.
I don't know. I've been checking on it. Here's the cantaloupe today. Oh my gosh. There he goes. Getting bigger. Any other ones?
There's a bunch of them. They're just hard to see. There's one there. There's several in there. I just don't like to move around the leaves till I have to.
Oh, there's one.
There's a baby one right to your left.
Right there.
They're just coming all over.
Cool.
It's loaded. There's one right here in front of me.
Melons.
Lots of them.
Coming. Corn's getting super tall. It's almost taller than me.
So we pulled up the peas today.
No more peas.
No more peas. There were still a few good ones in there, but they're getting old and dried out. So I had my daughter Gracie pull up the posts and the trellises, and I tilled it all in. Well, first we pulled up all the peas and fed them to the chickens and ducks, of course, and then I tilled it up, and I'm going to fill in that space there that you see with more tomatoes. I kind of thought I wasn't going to, but I just decided I have some that need to be transplanted or just gotten rid of, and I can't stop myself. I'm going to put them in. I'm going to do it tomorrow sometime. So it's tilled up, ready to go. I'll probably till it one more time tomorrow, and then build another trellis system for tomatoes.
Oh boy.
Got some really good tomatoes here. Can't wait for them to get ripe. We've gotten a few, but boy, there's some nice big fat tomatoes in this garden right now. If they just would get ripe.
That one's turning.
Is it? Well, I'm ready for him now.
Some good ones.
Come over here and show them how tall this early corn's getting. Through here we've got black diamond watermelons, and I know I've seen a couple. You can see one tiny one right over there, but it's tiny. They're just hard to see when they're mixed in with the corn. Let's go this way. I'll show them better melons later.
Okay.
I'm going to show you about how tall this corn's getting over here. I'm about 6'3", so it's catching up with me. So I'd say it's doing okay for the most part. Watermelons all through there, they look to be doing pretty well. One watermelon, and that's our cucumber patch in between the corn, and they have been producing like crazy. We'll probably need to pick them again tomorrow. Not sure. Haven't looked at them today at all.
Getting some babies.
Pretty much have to get a stick and just look all over the place.
There's one. A day. Oh, a couple. Good ones.
Yep, we'll be picking those tomorrow.
We get some weird shaped ones.
Yeah, we'll get some twinsies and triplets.
That's a good one. Ooh. We still have some in the bucket from the other day, so.
We'll show them the tomato trellis system.
Okay.
If anybody wonders what these are, I just get these at Rural King. You can probably find them somewhere else, but these are motion censored lights, and they're solar powered. I bought these last year and used them all last year in the garden, and they're still working now. And I bought them because of deer, and I won't say they completely keep deer away, but I can tell you that when the garden is young, you can tell that those deers, when they get about 20 feet from those lights, the lights get really bright, and they'll just stop in their tracks and turn around sometimes. So I keep a few of them around just to kind of keep the deer away. You can see right here, the deer got in here earlier this year, and this corn will come back, but they tried to pull a number on me earlier, but I've been keeping them out lately, so it's always a battle here with deer. This is the tomato trellis system. I'll be honest, this is the first time we've ever done this. I watched, my wife will tell you, hours and hours and hours of videos trying to figure out systems for trellising tomatoes. This seemed to be the one that I liked the best. It's a version of the Florida weave, and if you look down here, we have our tomatoes, and you can see that we'll come around one side with one string and go around the other side with the other, and then we'll go and we'll flip over there. So as they get taller, you just weave them through here. Okay. A lot of people put on a new layer of string as the plants are getting taller, but I found one commercial farmer video actually that and he does way more than I do. And he decided to start doing this, and he says it works way better, and it's a lot easier to do in the long run than trying to remember to trellis your tomatoes. So I'm giving it a shot. So you can see I've got them. These are 8-foot T-posts. They're about 6 foot tall. I might run one more string on this one. You can see, if you can see the one back there, I went all the way to the top of that one. I want to see if I can get some 6-foot tomato plants, and you'll find out, because I'll post a video about it. It'll either be really awesome or they'll all fall down. I don't know. But we're trying. So far so good. Let's see, I see this guy here needs put in there.
So the rows in between the trellises are what he's gonna.
Yeah, we're going to transplant those. They're getting pretty big, so I'm probably going to take some of the smaller ones. And some of these will unfortunately be disposed of. But I just ran out of room in my garden. This is what's happened. Asparagus is still here. It seems like it just goes through different stages every day almost. It looks different every day. See, I have more watermelon through here. I've been trying to go through and lightly do this. Usually I use my hands, but I'm trying to keep them from going into the ditch. We got some watermelons on some of these. There's one over here that's really got some nice little ones on it. They're little, but they look like watermelons, so I'll show them off because they're the first real looking little watermelons we have. And on this one, we've got 2 nice little watermelons.
Oh, yeah.
These are Crimson Sweets.
So cute.
And these plants seem to be doing very, very well. You can see here in my younger corn, it has been raining so much, I have not tilled through here one time since these have been planted. So it's still, I can walk through here now with my shoes, but if you see, I still sink. So I'm waiting for it to get a little drier. It's just really wet on this side. Well, there's another little watermelon there. They're coming all over on these Crimson Sweets. Oh, there's one on this plant.
Oh, no, baby. fuzzy one.
Probably, if we look, there's probably watermelon on every single one of these, if I had to guess, because there's one on there, probably more.
Here's one. Which is more than we had last year altogether.
Yeah, last year I planted, how many watermelon plants did I have?
Just like 6, didn't you?
6 watermelon plants, and I might have gotten 3 watermelon.
Yeah.
So a little more successful. This watermelon here is a victim of our flooding. It looks a little better today than it did yesterday. It might actually come out of it. We'll see. Because it made a bloom today. That's strange. I thought it was dead. You can see these leaves down here. They were covered in water. I mean, this was 4 inches underwater 4 or 5 days ago. All of it.
It's still squishy.
It's squishy.
We have visitors.
Yeah, those are cats. Not a fan of cats, but I'd rather have them than coons. In here.
What's this? This watermelon?
That's a watermelon.
It looks like
a sugar babies.
Ah.
They had a rough start, so they're just now coming along. A little behind.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah, there's all kinds of them in here if you get to looking really hard. There's like 3 or 4 through here. There's some more of them sugar babies. This one's got a lot of blooms on it, so maybe it has a watermelon. I'm not sure. I doubt it, but.
Oh, there's one.
These vines I came through this morning, and they were reaching out into the ditch, so I started moving them back inside the corn just because I don't want to mow over them. The dirt on this side of the garden is just not as good, so I fertilized over here a little bit a couple days ago. I don't know, and it seems like they've gotten a little bigger now since I did that. And seeing this right here kind of worries me. If there's fungus growing in your garden, and there's a bunch of these mushrooms if you walk around in there, and that comes from moisture. If there's fungus in there, I worry about that being in my corn because of all the moisture, but we just have to wait and see. More mushrooms there. One fell over there. There's a mushroom there. You can see out there I have another motion censored light. So when the deer come out there, they might think it's all nice and safe, and then boom, light comes on. Might be able, I don't know if you can see my trellis system way out there. I'm pretty proud of it right now. We'll see what happens in, you know.
If they don't walk through it.
Yeah.
Deer.
Right here, I tilled today. It was really too muddy. It's just wet, but I've got a nice little tiller, and Lee, she went and sprinkled a little fertilizer in there, in between the rows right there, and I went ahead and tilled it in. I wanted to do it through all these rows over here, but it just rained too much and it grew too fast, so I guess, you know, it looks great, so I guess I'm not going to worry about it. At this point, it's so tall, I don't think I want to run a tiller through it. But more watermelon rows. Beans, yellow wax bush beans. These are all green beans. Got a little bit of lettuce here. I'm just leaving that here. It's too bitter to eat. I just come out here and clip a little bit off for the chickens and ducks every day. They really love that. It's nice and tender. And then we got all these green beans here. Then we got our carrots. Carrots are doing pretty well. She pulled up one or two the other day. They're about 3 or 4 inches long.
Baby carrots.
Baby carrots. They'll get there eventually.
Tasted good. And then the tomatoes.
Tomatoes. So you can see here, we've got some of these tomatoes here. And I've been hearing about people pruning tomatoes. So we pruned a few. We pruned all these right here. And you can tell they look they look pretty nice. I will say this. You see this cage? There was a tomato in there. It's dead. And we pruned it. We may have done something wrong, I'm not sure. But it lived, after we pruned it, it lived for about 3 weeks and looked great. These had been
These ones are all pruned, you can tell because they're...
And then right through here, you can see there's some cages not here. There's missing space here. I just tilled this up today. These were pruned. They looked great. All of a sudden, we got all that rain, flooded, and the tomatoes died. I'm not sure why, because I don't know why they would live so long and look fine and then just die. The only thing I can figure, and I'm just experimenting with the pruning this year, the only thing I can figure is with this big guy here. This has not been pruned. Now I know I watch a lot of gardening videos on YouTube, and they say if you want the best tomatoes, you prune those tomatoes. And I do try to cut off yellow leaves on the bottom and whatnot.
So it's not touching the ground.
Yeah, so that they're not touching the ground. They need trimmed again. But I can tell you this, the only thing I can think of, when you get about 7.5 inches of rain in 4 days, I feel like these big dudes here that did not get pruned flourished because they had all these mouths to feed, all these tomatoes and leaves and stems to feed, and they just got bigger and bigger. While these over here that were pruned, I think it waterlogged them and they couldn't handle the amount of water that they had. I could be wrong and somebody might call me stupid, but I'll bet you, and I've grown tomatoes like this my whole life, they'll have good tomatoes. I started pruning them because everybody says you should. We're going to see which one does better, and I will let you know at the end of the year if these are just a bunch of people that like to do stuff or if they know what they're talking about. Because if anybody knows me, I'll tell you what I think. Right now, the big dudes are winning for me because I've actually pulled a few ripe tomatoes off of them. So what I am going to do with these big guys is I'm going to come in with some more posts, and I'm going to string up a little bit, keep them up off the ground. But hey, the more tomatoes the merrier for me, because these guys just look great and they got great tomatoes on them.
What's in here?
These are onions and mostly grass. If anybody doesn't know, this was all a yard last year and I tilled it all up, so keeping the grass out of this is hard, and especially out of onions, which is something I don't care about too much now. I ate a lot of them earlier, but now they're hotter and bigger, so I'll probably come through here in a couple days and weed eat this. And I'm leaving the bulbs in the ground because I want the bulbs. I eat a lot of onion bulbs, big onion bulbs, so they keep coming back through the grass. The grass isn't killing them. And I pulled one the other day. I don't know where it went, but you know, they're about that big around right now. You could take them and cut them up right now. And, yeah, see, you could take them right now and cut them up and have some fun with them. I mean, I guess he's not even ruined. He's fine. So, you know, I got a big hand, but it's not as big as what I want them to get about like that, like you get at the store. So our zucchini look great. We had a little bit of trouble earlier because of all the flooding. We were getting some mold and some, oh, it looked like blossom rot, but it was really just that they were soaked. And they haven't, there's a lot of zucchini on there, but they're not growing real fast.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But the plants are big. They
Yeah.
look great. You can see I put a little 7 dust on there. I don't like to do that, but over here we had one and there were definitely bugs in it, and it had started to spread the bugs over to these 2 plants, and I caught it in time that I was able to stop the spread, and I got rid of that plant. So I know people like organic, and that's great, but I like to have live vegetables and fruit.
Is this one different?
So-
The leaves look different.
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Covered in mud, little big leaves. Another one starting. And there's the green beans. Gracie told me today I did a good job weeding because the beans
Did a
looked
great
naked.
job. Did a great job weeding.
A few of them are waterlogged, but I think they'll make it.
Yeah, tomorrow I gotta get these off the ground. They're getting bad. And tomorrow we're going to transplant some tomatoes at some point. This is going to be filled in.
Oh, more tomatoes.
I can't stand to have that, because otherwise I just have to till nothing. Don't you agree?
I agree, honey.
She agrees. My daughter will love it.
Mm.
She loves transplanting tomatoes.
Well, yeah, because 20 minutes ago we weren't going to transplant the
Right.
tomatoes, and so I think we all were like, phew, yay.
And then I looked at the bare spot. Can't happen. Well,
Ugh.
yes, I'm all sweaty. I've worked hard. My wife has worked hard.
Thanks, honey.
I think we're going to call it a day.
Yep.
Unless